All right, let's get right into it. We're going way back, digging into one of the most intense and honestly game-changing family stories you'll ever find. It comes from the book of Genesis, and it's all about a father's last wish and a shocking decision that nobody saw coming. So picture this. You've got a patriarch on his deathbed. His vision is gone, and he's about to pass on his entire legacy. But right at that critical moment, he makes what looks like a massive mistake. The real question, the one we're going to unpack today, is what if it wasn't a mistake at all? What if he did it on purpose to completely change the future? So here's our roadmap for today. We'll break this whole thing down into 5 parts. We'll start with the patriarch's final duty, then see how sons become brothers. We'll get to the heart of it with the deliberate mistake, uncover the prophecy that explains it all, and wrap up with the father's final gift. Okay, Act 1. The story kicks off with this really urgent feeling. The great patriarch, Jacob, who you might also know as Israel, is at the very end of his life, and he sends for his son, his most powerful and famous son, Joseph. Now, this little detail right here is so important. Jacob is old, he's sick, he's weak, but the moment he hears Joseph is on his way, the text says he strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. Just think about that. This tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just some casual visit. Jacob is using every last ounce of energy he has for what's about to happen. It is that important. So before he does anything else, Jacob reminds Joseph of why they're even here. He brings up this divine promise that is the absolute foundation of their family. He's not just taking a trip down memory lane. No, he's setting the stage. He's making it crystal clear that what he's about to do isn't his idea. It's tied to a sacred promise of land and legacy for generations to come. And this is where things take a really sharp turn. With the stage set, Jacob makes this incredible legal move that just completely redraws the family tree. So to get how huge this is, you have to understand this idea of patriarchal adoption. Back then, your lineage was everything. It decided your money, your status, your whole life. So what Jacob does here, it's not just a nice gesture. He is legally promoting his grandsons. He's giving them the full status and inheritance rights of his own children. This means they can now go off and start their own tribes, which is a massive shift in power. And listen to how directly he says it. There's no ambiguity here. He just says, Ephraim and Manasseh are mine. He even puts them on the same level as his own firstborns, Reuben and Simeon. He is publicly, formally claiming them as his own. So look at this shift right here. It's night and day. One minute, Ephraim and Manasseh are just Joseph's kids, Jacob's grandchildren. The next, boom, they are Jacob's sons. They're now direct heirs, set up to become leaders of 2 whole new tribes of Israel. With this one move, Jacob basically doubles Joseph's inheritance and influence. Okay, now we get to the main event. This is the climax of the whole story. The formal blessing is about to happen, but this is where a sacred, ancient tradition gets completely flipped on its head. And right before it happens, the text gives us this crucial detail. Jacob's eyes were dim. He couldn't really see. Now this is just brilliant storytelling because it sets us up to think he's frail, maybe confused. It creates the perfect setup for what is actually an act of incredible, crystal clear vision. So here's how this was supposed to go down. The ancient world ran on the rule of the firstborn. It was everything. So Joseph, he knows the drill. He does it all by the book. He brings his older son, Manasseh, to Jacob's right side and the younger son, Ephraim, to his left. See, the right hand was the hand of power, of honor, the greater blessing, and it always went to the firstborn, no exceptions. But then, this happens. Jacob crosses his arms. He puts his right hand, the power hand, on Ephraim, the younger son, and his left hand goes to Manasseh, the firstborn. And pay attention to that last word, wittingly. The original text implies he did it with skill and intelligence. This was not a fumble. This was a calculated move. And Joseph is just horrified. I mean, can you imagine? He thinks his poor, blind, old father is making a huge public mistake. He's embarrassed for him. So he tries to fix it. He actually grabs his dad's hands and says, "No, Dad, not like that. This one is the firstborn." Joseph is trying to uphold tradition, order, everything he's ever known. But Jacob, he doesn't budge. And in his response, what looked like a clumsy mistake is suddenly revealed to be something so much bigger. It's a prophecy. This is the moment everything clicks. Jacob refuses to move his hands, and he just calmly says, "I know it, my son. I know it." And with those few words, the entire dynamic shifts. Joseph realizes, and so do we, this isn't weakness. This is foresight. Jacob can see something no one else can. And here's why he did it. Jacob lays out the future he sees for both boys. Manasseh, the firstborn, yeah, he'll be great. He'll become a people. But his younger brother, Ephraim, he will be greater. His descendants will become a multitude of nations. Jacob saw a future so grand that it was worth breaking one of the oldest traditions on the books. And the effect was immediate and permanent. From that day on, the standard blessing in Israel was changed. People would say, "May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh," always putting the younger son's name first. Jacob didn't just bless a kid, he established a whole new order. So, after delivering this world-changing prophecy, the story wraps up with Jacob's last, very personal words to Joseph. It's a beautiful mix of a father's love and a patriarch's final duty. After setting up the future for his grandsons, Jacob turns to his son and reassures him. He says, "Look, I'm dying, but God will be with you." He's passing down something more precious than property or status. He's passing on his unshakable faith that the family story will continue right back in their promised land. And then there was one last thing, a final personal gift. On top of everything else, Jacob gives Joseph one extra portion of land, a piece of land he himself had won in battle. Now, this wasn't just real estate. It was a symbol. It was his final nod to Joseph, recognizing his special place in the family and in his. So what are the big takeaways from all this? First, a father's blessing wasn't just well wishes. It was seen as a literal prophecy that could steer destiny. Second, this story shows that divine vision could completely trump even the most rigid social rules, like the rights of the firstborn. And finally, what seems like a small family drama, well, it ended up redrawing the entire future map of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that kind of leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? What really shapes our world? Is it the traditions we follow, the rules that keep things stable? Or is it those rare moments of profound insight, those flashes of a different future that truly change everything?